Of Chicago, live and direct. It's the Rico No Suave Show, starring Rico No Suave, with co-host Valerie Malesio, featuring special guests every Saturday. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is Rico No Suave. Ritmo.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. Your boy Rico Suave here on a 1-2-1-2 with each and every one of you guys, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. I am so happy to be back with each and every one of you guys. Man, it is a beautiful day here in Chicago. There's so many things that's going on around the world, man. And I have to tell you that Chicago is one of the best things that you ever want to be at when it comes to summertime. Because you know what? We got great food. We got great people. We got great festivals y todo, mi gente. So, welcome to the show. And also we want to welcome my co-host. Her name is Valerie Malesio. What's up, Valerie?
Hey, feliz sábado, mi gente. It is a beautiful day here locally in Chicago.
Yes.
Beautiful outside.
Yes.
Although, the summertime's going a little bit more quicker than I would like it to. We are enjoying it one day at a time.
That's what we do. One day at a time. And only 24 hours. That's all we got, right? 24 hours. And then we say, hey, what's the next 24 hours going to give us? Right? It's either going to be good weather.
This is Chicago. Don't say that.
Exactly.
The next 24 hours could give us rain, hail.
And snow.
Some snow.
Trying to figure out where that came from.
Right. In June. July.
In June. Right.
But it's happened.
It has happened, and yes, and it's unfortunately that it did happen before, right? So, but everybody, we got a great show ready for you guys, man. We have a great show, but we're going to start off right now with our breaking news, everyone. So our breaking news is where we're going to tell you about what's happening around the world. All right, here we go. So everyone, on July 4th, we had in Highland Park, one of the richest neighborhoods, I would say, that's in Illinois, was attacked. And with that being said, mi gente, there is some things that went down that was very, very sad. And as you can see, this beautiful kid that you see here was watching the parade on the 4th of July. And then there was a shootout, right? So let's go to the next slide. Now, when the shootout actually happened, of course, there was people that was actually like, how can I say it? Running all over the place, right? And when they were running for their lives. And there was a gunman that was on a rooftop. And on that rooftop was a gentleman that actually killed some people, wounded at least 30, killed at least 6. And the tragedy that we actually have right now that we are seeing is mental health awareness issues, where we're seeing that something was actually planned for quite some time since 2019, and then this happened. And what I mean by this had happened is because this is nothing that was actually say, hey, I'm just going to go out and shoot someone. This was actually planned. But this also comes to a situation where gun violence, how did he get the gun? But he got it the right way. He was actually permitted to actually have this gun in Illinois, but the mental state was not there. The mental state of actually going out to be able to kill whoever and do whatever they want to actually do. There was something really sad about this. So we want to pull up as far as the victims that was actually killed. So these were the victims that was actually killed on that day in Highland Park. I pray for their families. We pray for the wounded as well. But for them to be able to lose their lives on a day of celebration that we've always celebrated here in America is really getting out of hand. And the gun violence and restricting this, and Illinois has the strictest gun laws ever.
Not that.
Well, it doesn't seem that way. It seems like there is an issue in regards to that. There's an issue in regards to when you say restriction, how strict is it? How strict is it with the NRA? How strict is it as far as with being able to, go through a background check, to be able to go in mentality and as far as issues? Where is that happening?
It's not.
And it's not.
It's not.
Of course. I mean, it's a law that's in place that's not really being executed correctly.
I have a gun card. It took me longer to get my driver's license. And I mean, there you go. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's the magnitude of the issues that are behind this.
Yes.
There's a whole bullet point list of issues that need to be addressed with all this. How many times have we talked about this already just this year on the show?
A lot.
As breaking news.
Yep.
That you can't even go and enjoy a 4th of July festival without worrying about somebody just deciding, you know what, I think I'm just going to go shoot up the festival today. I mean, that's where we're at right now. You know,
Right.
how do we get ahead of this? If this was since, you're saying it was planned since 2019, where was the ball dropped on this? That's a couple years of knowing without putting a stop to something. And I'm not in a position to point fingers because I don't think that solves anything. But I think information is always helpful. So this is coming out afterward. If you see something, say something. If, you could save lives. I know it's hard with family, but a lot of times, we're the first ones to notice.
Yep.
It is a hard situation because I think your brain just doesn't you don't wrap your mind around that someone can actually do something like this.
Which goes to my next slide. My next slide is the killer, right? And what happens is that this gentleman, Roberto Crimo, right? And he's been having issues with family in Highland Park since 2019. I dug a little bit deeper into this to be able to understand what was actually going on within the family, where they had police officers going to their home of domestic violence, and he's actually came out and some of the family members saying, I'm going to kill her, or because there was abusive relationships that was actually happening within the household. It starts at the household. These were all leading up to a time where we knew that there was something problematic as far as with the family. This is not just, hey, I planned this out, I put it on a blueprint, I know I'm going to go upstairs. No, there's been situations where has been an issue with this kid and the family for quite some time. For this to basically happen, and this has been happening in Highland Park.
Yeah.
So, the thing about this is that I got to get to my guest because my guest is the bomb.
Right.
And one of the things is that
He really is.
we have to understand the signs of the times. Now, I'm not going to throw a race card in this because it doesn't make sense to throw this, but this has come up multiple times, and people have called me on this and saying, hey, if this person was black or brown, this situation in regards to how this person got arrested would have went a different way.
I wish I could say I didn't agree with that.
So
But
the issue with this is being detained in regards to someone killing. And it's crazy. You're killing your own kind, too. You kill one Latino, but you killed your own kind. And this is an issue. But one thing is that I'm glad that they picked him up in Lake Forest and someone identified him. They put him on the ground and they took him away. And I'm happy about that.
now, I don't know if it played a role, but the parents were business owners in the local community. So one of the news anchors that was announcing this in the area said, yeah, it's a really hard situation because I know his dad.
Yeah.
They're good people, and no one would have expected something like this would have happened, but when do you? You know what I mean? When do you expect it? But if he was having all these issues.
Bingo. Why not?
Was he maybe given a pass because of that situation?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? How did that affect, what was the realistic scenario, what was going on with him? He wasn't being heard because he kept making all these dramatic situations happen, violence, and people weren't taking it seriously, it sounds like. I don't know.
Okay.
But keep your eyes open. We definitely want to get ahead of this. We want to be able to celebrate. We want to be able to have a good time. And we want to be able to do that without having to worry about gunmen on rooftops. So sorry to the people who lost their lives. Looking forward. Hopefully we can figure this out.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to figuring this one out, my fashion. I have this gentleman, everybody. I have to say, I want to give big shout out to Beatrice Davis once again. I love her.
Hey, B.
She's such an awesome person, but connecting me as far as with a very, very awesome fashion designer. He's famous. We have to say he's famous. He has done work with one of the rappers, Jadakiss. Jadakiss was actually, as far as on his website, we're going to bring that up later, but this gentleman has been around the world. This gentleman has been a designer for many great people, a lot of great people. Very inspirational, very happy, very energetic. And you know, from the Caribbean, baby, you know what I mean? I had to say that this gentleman here takes designing to a different level. This gentleman has many accolades, very good milestones that he has accomplished. I want you guys to go in your wardrobe right now. Gentlemen, put on your best jacket. Out, ladies, go ahead and put on your best dress. Tight fitting or loose, baby. Right? With some earrings and all that stuff. Get ready, because you already know my man, Berny Martin, is in the house. Let's go! How are you, sir?
I'm well.
Man,
Thank you for having me.
man, it's so great to have you here. Man.
How'd you like that intro?
I'm speechless. I like it.
Sundresses or not.
That's right. Let's bring it on.
Right.
Bernie, we're going to get right into it, man, because
Go for it.
we want to know a lot about you.
Yeah.
Right? We want to know a lot about you because your journey is a plethora of great things.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there was milestones where there was ups and there was downs, but we want to know, being a designer
Yeah.
is a difficult thing to start off with when you're looking at, I wouldn't say competition, but other people that have other designs as well, too.
Yeah.
And what was the breaking stone? Because Abuelita, grandma, played a big part
Yeah.
in this as well. So tell us about how you thought about designing fashion and that breakage. How did you do that?
Yeah. Wow, that's a bucket load of questions within the questions.
Yes.
You know, first I want to thank both of you for having me.
Yes.
And shout out to
Thank you.
Beatrice.
Yes.
for doing such a great job as well.
Yes.
And then of course, my heart pour with the situation that occurred last Monday here
Yes.
in Holland Park.
Yes.
And then I used to live not too far from here.
Ooh.
Yeah, like right down the street here.
Okay.
So
Oh,
moved from Chicago now back to Indiana for the past almost 5 years now.
Okay.
So yeah, a situation like that you can't ever process exactly and how it's going to affect your life from now on.
Right.
Yes.
You can always hope and pray that you can move on and carry on with it.
Yes.
Because I experienced similar journey. You know, when I was growing up on the island of Haiti.
Yes.
You know, it was a constant feuding between but it was a different type of
Feuding.
Yes,
Yes.
you know what I
Yes.
mean?
I know. Yeah.
And but as far as like me becoming a fashion designer, it has to be from my experiences in life that made me who I am of becoming a fashion designer.
Yeah.
You know, I truly believe artists are born artists. You can't really learn to be an artist.
Interesting.
You can take courses to somewhat help you and shape you and mold you
Okay.
to become a professional or what you call sharpening your skills. Does that make sense?
Yes. Mhm.
Just like if you have a blade, you know exactly what the blade does.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
But every now and then you can take the blade and you keep sharpening it in
Right.
order to get a sharper cut.
Yes.
But
Does that
was
make
always
sense?
a blade.
But it was always a blade.
Yes.
Got
Does
it.
that make
Yes.
sense?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So for me, being an artist is something has to be born within you of becoming that.
Yeah.
It's not a professionalism kind of world that is only being taught.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
your eyes, your intuition, your mind, your fingers, your fit, everything fit into that demographic of being that. Whether if it is singing or painting or in that source. So with that being said, I grew up in that kind of environment.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a creative.
As a creative person. Okay. I grew up almost every generation of my life. I've been part of kind of like a creative journey, you know, from my childhood all the way to my adulthood. And it wasn't not until I moved to college, a few of my friends made me aware of that. But I was never aware of it because of my parents being so conservative Caribbeanos.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault. It's just that, like I said, that was a bucket little question within the question.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
I'm
Yes,
sorry
sir.
if you.
You're doing a fabulous job.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm taking the long term
No,
to,
no, you're good. You're good.
Perfect.
to answer your question
No, you're
because
good.
I was in college when I decided somewhat let me entertain the word fashion design.
Yeah.
And it was a few of my friends that came to visit me in college while I've been in Indiana that I really did my first fashion show.
Okay.
And it was one of the worst fashion shows in the world. You know, I'm being honest. I say to my friends, I was like, one day I'll pop this tape in and it will have a lot of shots because I want to forget what we just watched because it was one of the worst show ever on this planet probably. If somebody have the worst show, we can compare. Yeah. If anything you can think of that happened, that did happen that night, that day, at that moment, at that location. And it was an eye-opening experience for
Yes,
me.
sir.
And I said, never again. I'm never going to go back to fashion. And then I retreated and I completed my college degree. At that time, I was studying computer science engineer. And then, I am a little bit of a geek. I possess somewhat the both side.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Which I can entertain as well sometimes.
Yes, sir.
So with that being said, from that fashion show,
Yeah.
I came to experience the worst and possibly my legacy at the same time.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
You mentioned you didn't realize your own creativity.
Yeah.
That it took the vision of some friends to come
Yeah.
to you and say, hey, I like the way you dress.
Yeah.
You should do fashion. Did it happen like that? Or they were just like, I want to do a fashion show.
no,
you should run it.
No.
Type deal.
We were bored out of our mind. Yeah, that is the truth. And I think some of my friends, they just wanted to get hookups that day because we were in college.
Okay.
You know, so they found me as a way of entertaining the city because I was always the guy that somewhat what you call well-dressed, well-mannered, well this, well
Respected.
that, and cultured. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Absolutely.
So I was always the scapegoat of a lot of my friends. So I was never a promoter kind of way, but they surely did use me a lot for that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with that being said, at that time, being in college campus of my popularity,
Yeah.
they thought, Bernie, you're the designer in order to welcome the ladies to the
Get into it.
to
Yes.
kind of like being introduced to
Yes,
the
sir.
campus life.
Yes, sir.
So with that being said, I didn't know that game.
There it is.
I did not know, I'll be honest with you, because obviously I was just ultimately love being in the fashion
Yes.
thing. But
Yes,
they had
oh.
other plan for me. Does that make sense? So they were not that being nice.
Right.
They were planning, they had other plans. It's just I was not
They were
aware.
using you as
They
bait.
were using me as a
little
bait.
bit of bait.
A bait.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, I like to describe that moment a wake-up call.
Yeah.
Because not everything in life is negative. You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
Sometimes
yeah.
there's certain things
Yes, sir.
that occur, whether if it is good or bad, that will teach you. And that's how I
Right.
took it.
You're not sure how the message is going to be delivered.
Delivered, exactly.
It was delivered in this way.
Yeah.
Either way, it triggered your creativity with fashion. Even
Yeah,
more.
absolutely. And then that summer, being a senior in college, we all went to Paris as a treat for our friendship and so on. And I remember staring at the windows, and then one of my friends was like, "You know, you can't run away from who you are." He's like, excuse me, I mean, there were some other words. He was like, "You from Brooklyn?" I was like, yeah, this is not Brooklyn, this is Paris.
We're a grown show, Bernie.
So with that being said, I remember him said that to me, and then that kind of like manifested kind of like an inner voice.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You can't really run away from who you are,
That's
basically.
right.
That's what he was saying to me. And then
That's right.
from then on, I went back to college, finished my course, became a computer engineer for almost 2 or 3 years, whatever it was. And then I remember walking out that job, and I never looked back.
Wow.
And I went back to school to study fashion at FIT in New York. And then from there, I discovered the world there. All my friends that were in fashion was like, there's nothing out there. You need to travel, figure out yourself. And then live in Africa, in and out, and traveling the world, finding out who I am, what about, studied, my journey. From then, moved back to Indiana, studied everything from ground up with nothing.
Wow, I love that.
That's hot.
You know what I really, what kind of stood out for me and what you've spoken on so far was the fact that you had these talents.
Yeah.
But it all started with finding yourself first.
Yeah, true.
And like sometimes we have a tendency to go full speed ahead into something without truly knowing if that's who we really are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah. And not that I'm trying to be religious or anything like that, but the universe or God, wherever that might be for you as an individual, will place things around you to shape that for you. And
Absolutely.
It is up to you to really sit down and listen and learn how to listen to those things, and for you to trust nature in a way for those clues in order to keep moving on to that path. For me, my journey started really with nothing, nothing. I didn't have a seamstress in Indianapolis.
Wow.
We didn't have models. We didn't have anything.
Can you create your own clothes? Like design?
I mean,
stitch them to yourself together?
No, I mean, I'm not a professional, what you call
Seamstress
a seamstress. And there's boundaries. For example, when you go to Paris, there are limitations to the craft. When you say fashion in Paris, it means completely something different.
Really?
To what it means here in the States. There are different categories of like, is it men, is it women, is it evening, is it couture? And by the way, the couture term, you have to have a license by the licensees in Paris. Otherwise, you cannot be a couturier.
Wow.
And there are a bunch of rules and regulation to that.
So anybody out there who's trying to use the word couture locally, get
when
your license in Paris.
Yeah, right. When I'm in Paris, the way they laugh at us is ridiculous. About when it comes to fashion, they
freedom of speech.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the French can be perceived to be, arrogant about that. But you have to understand where it came from. Yeah. You have to understand the history of fashion and why they are so particular about what X, Y, and Z is when it comes to fashion. Yeah. As of today, we just opened our showroom in Paris. Right. It just happened last month. And we are learning so much about the culture of the fashion industry there that is completely different from what we're accustomed to in New York.
Man, I gotta congratulate you on that. You know, Bernie, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. Because there's a lot to learn about you, right? So everybody, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Cars will break down. And when they do, it's too late. If your car is out of warranty, it leaves you with two choices. Get stuck paying for expensive repairs, or one phone call to CarShield. Their administrators pay for your covered repairs so you don't have to. Your coverage includes roadside assistance, towing, rental, and so much more. Plus, with their nationwide network, you choose the mechanic or dealer. Best of all, there's coverage for every wallet size. Make the smart call before it's too late. Call CarShield today.
Has your newborn child been diagnosed with necrotizing enterocolitis, NEC, after delivery? You may be entitled to compensation. NEC is a potentially serious medical condition generally seen in premature or underweight newborns, but can develop in any newborn within the first 2 weeks of being born. NEC, if not diagnosed and treated immediately, can rapidly progress from a treatable medical condition to a devastating infection that the baby's body is unable to fight.
Call 1-855-335-0410.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We are here with none other than the fashion designer, the owner of. I always want to say, you said it's not like Katao. How do you say it?
Katu.
Katu, right? Katu, right? From Katu.
Yeah.
And if you guys just now joining in, thank you for joining in late.
Catch up.
Catch up, right. Rewind.
Right.
No, but welcome everybody. Bernie, man, it's so great to have you here on the show on the Rico No Suave talk
Learning
show.
so much.
Man, we're learning so much. We do have to go to a few comments because there's a few people that's out there saying some great things about you, but also laughing with you in regards to, some of the things that we have been talking about. So Valerie, what do we have? What do you have on your end?
Well, I just want to say a shout out to Eileen Love, Lady in Red. Thank you for tuning
Eileen
in.
Love, Lady in Red.
Eileen
What's up?
Love.
What's up?
And so Beatrice says, thank you guys, because we did give her a couple shout outs.
That is correct.
I'm working backwards here, guys. Carlos Masas. He says, Rico, I personally think since they legalized marijuana, all these crimes and carjackings are related to these drugs because it contains all these chemicals that are triggering these teenagers to commit these crimes.
Yep. Yeah.
That's a good way of
It is.
looking at it. I mean, it is possible.
Yeah.
I normally would say I don't know about that with marijuana, but nowadays everything's so genetically manufactured.
Yeah.
So who knows what's in it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Beatrice went on to say it's heartbreaking that we keep losing people every day because of political and personal issues or disagreements. You're absolutely right. Viomal, hola. Patricia Flores Vera, hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hi,
Thank
Patricia.
you guys so much for
Thank
checking
you for
in.
tuning in. And we also have a comment from Miss Deborah Jimenez. You were talking about your fashion show, how it was, you said it was the worst ever. So she says, it's a perfect example of failure breeding success.
Yes.
I think that's an awesome statement.
It's a lesson learned.
Without failure, you can't have success.
That's true.
It's a very big contrast.
And we also got John T for free checking in with us as well, too,
getting
everybody.
to
So
him,
John T for free, thank you so much for checking
T.
in. And everybody else is actually checking in.
Thank you
guys so much for the love. So let's get back into it. So, we talked about the barrier of, breaking, I call it like breaking the silence of what I see out there and how can I be different.
Yeah.
Right. And being creative. And you brought up a kind of a good point in regards to that. You kind of have to be born with it. Right.
Yeah.
Being born with something is something that you don't discover until somebody really tells you, hey, you're good at that.
Yeah.
You should be able to do that until you start doing it.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know that dressing was going to come out like that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
In regards to
Absolutely.
the design. So let's talk about Walita. Let's talk about Grandma.
Yeah.
Because Grandma was a big influence in regards to your growing up. Let's talk about Grandma. What's Grandma's name, right? And how did Grandma put an impact in regards to your life?
Definitely. I mean, I'm Caribbean.
Yep.
Or I should say Caribbean American also. But my journey, my family journey, come from being black in the Caribbean, meaning that, of course, we are African at some point.
Yep, exactly.
And then brought to the island as slaves. But at the same time, the reason I'm touching on that, because the thing is, I was born in Haiti. My parents are both Caribbean, Latinos, and Caribbean Haitian.
Nice.
And at the time, people were traveling freely.
Yep.
You could just take a boat and go to Cuba.
Yeah,
or you can just walk over to the Dominican Republic or Jamaica and so on. There's history, plenty of
I like
that.
to walk these days.
Yeah.
I want to walk over there too.
I'd like to walk to the Dominican Republic.
Yeah. And at that time, I've witnessed it
Yes.
personally, and there's history of it through narrative talking in my family.
Yes.
How they came to Haiti and so on. So I'm sharing that because a lot of time when people hear Haiti, they only see one demographic
That's right.
of what Haitians are.
Talk to
But
them.
what
Yes,
they
sir.
don't realize is that Haiti is a very melting pot culture
Yeah.
of blacks and also Asians
Mm-hmm.
and also Islamic. We are very Islamic,
Yep.
of course.
Okay.
Haitians
That's
are
right.
very Islamic,
Yep.
and then of course you have Europeans
Mm-hmm.
descents. Both, I mean, all four of them: British, French, Portuguese, and of course Spain.
Yes.
The island was conquered by the Spain first before it became French. So in other words,
Of course.
we Haitian, we kind of like a very melting pot culture. So with that being said, my grandparents were that in the household. I learned salsa at a very young age with two maracas and then drum, the beating the turbo. So I didn't go to school to learn salsa.
No, you didn't have to.
No, I didn't have to.
No,
It was
no.
right there in the home.
That's right. Yes,
Exactly.
sir, Papa.
Yeah. So with that being said, my parents were not home. They were travelers. They were traveling throughout the Caribbean to
Yep.
trying to make a life for ourselves. So I was trusted to be left with my grandparents and uncles and so on.
Yeah.
So my grandmother's name is Marie Elizabeth Catherine Loiseau.
Oh, wow.
You know, so
Yeah.
Catherine
Catherine. Uh-huh.
was shortened by the neighbors and people that know her to Catu.
Catu.
So everybody know her in the neighborhood and in the family because they could not say the whole damn name. I just said it to you. You probably don't even remember.
I know
You
it.
were Catherine Marie.
Yeah, exactly. So with that being said, Catherine was short as like, hey, you got to just leave me alone. You know. So that's how the name
That's
came.
so
Yeah,
nice, though.
and
I
she
love
was
that story.
the epicenter of our family. Me and my sisters grew up around and trusted to be cared for and so on and so on. So that's how the name. And she exposed me to what to call the world of art in our neighborhood. I grew up with a lot of painters,
Yes.
and singers and everything. I grew up waking up in the morning to drum songs, a musician performing.
That's love.
You know,
That's a
So-
good alarm clock.
Yeah, it
That's
was.
beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. And it was some of those most popular bands at the time in Haiti. Merengue, salsa, bachata. Come on, are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
You can't. You can't.
You
help
can't.
but
You
to
can't.
get
I
up and
couldn't. I
dance.
couldn't.
Yeah.
No, in fact,
Brushing his teeth. Like,
it's a true story. I remember one time it was probably 4 o'clock in the morning, and there was some band playing, and I wake up and I start dancing on the bed.
Yeah.
And my grandmother, I remember where she's staying. I was like, "What the hell are you doing?" You know. So that was that. I mean, I don't know if you're Latinos. You know exactly what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I
course.
You
when I
can't
was a
escape the
kid,
music.
yeah.
You can't.
Not music, because like even
can't.
like, you know, having kids,
Yeah.
like we had to sleep through music playing. There was like
Yeah.
no quiet nap
That
time.
was
No,
that
you know
was
what I mean?
common.
Like there was always
Yeah.
music
Music
around.
playing.
Yeah.
If you were
And-
tired, you took a nap. We didn't like have all those rules that, not that parenting like that's bad or anything, but
Yeah,
we
and then
didn't
what
do
was
all
funny about mine, I had one Cuban grandmother who was like too much caliente in her bloodline. Okay, and then you have a very conservative Haitian priest-like
Wow.
person, both looking at each other like. But for some reason, they found peace in the middle of it all. I don't know how.
the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
I mean, they
So,
were
Yeah, it was a nice
opposites.
balance.
Yeah,
because
it's a good balance.
if I put you in the room with my Cuban grandmother, I will tell you, you will not stop dancing, laughing, and cracking, and
That's
eating,
love.
and all that stuff.
That's love.
It's just like 24/7 lit.
That's love.
And then, of course, with my Haitian grandmother, she was like quiet, you know, praying Jesus and all that stuff. I'm sorry. You asked for it, but that was me.
People can praise Jesus and be loud too.
Yeah. No, it was a
But
different.
she just sounds like she's very conservative.
Yeah, she was very conservative.
Very reserved.
Very
You
reserved.
can definitely tell the upbringing of someone coming out of, or the influence, when it becomes religion versus being in the street, right?
Yeah.
Because being in the street, of course, is around people that's sociable, that's ready to go and eat and listen to a live band while you're eating, whatever you're eating, and having a great time and dancing right after you finish eating. It's like that happy club home atmosphere, right? But that's what the island is about. The island is about having that great time, right? And then you also have, of course, the people that pray over us, right? That actually says, hey, I'm going to pray for you. Make sure you get home safe, right? And make sure that you don't, do any type of issues or gyrations, right? That may cause you, right? So,
it's a good balance, though, because like the reserved grandmas, the ones like, manners, and respect, and you learn how to like carry yourself from that, like in a certain light. Because you trip out with people like that because they can turn it on and get lit like in 2.5 seconds. Then all of a sudden they're around certain people and you're like,
Yeah.
Why are you acting like that? They're all quiet, reserved.
Respect, man. That respect level is deep, man. It's so deep.
Like, I've never met this version of you.
Oh yeah. And I remember when in high school in Brooklyn, whenever my friend would come over and visit, whenever you meet my Cuban grandmother, it was something different. You'll be on.
Right. We just had somebody here last week who was talking about his family. He's an artist too, and he's got tattoos. And he's like, when he goes to see his religious side of he's like, I just wear long sleeve. I don't even, they don't even know I have tattoos.
Exactly.
That's crazy because when you actually have things that you don't want people to know about,
exactly.
You don't want your image. You don't want your image to actually be done. We're going to take another quick commercial break real quick. We're going to take another quick commercial break, everybody. We'll be right back. You're here with Berny Martin from Katu.
Yes. This is an important message for anyone drowning in credit card debt, struggling just to make minimum payments, or tired of the collection calls. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, personal loans, medical bills, or collection accounts, you may qualify for our Debt Restart program. Call right now to see if you qualify. This program is designed to help you get out of debt in as little as 24 to 48 months. Representatives are standing by to take your call. Don't wait. Call the number on your screen now.
I owe the IRS $10,000 in back taxes, and now I'm being threatened with wage garnishment.
The state says that I owe them back taxes, and now they're going to seize my property.
At the offices of Tax Alliance, we hear stories like these all the time of people just like you who are burdened with tax debt they just can't get away from. At Tax Alliance, we're not here to judge you. We're here to help you get a fresh start. Call Tax Alliance, your tax resolution solution, right now for a no-obligation consultation.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Welcome back to the show. We are here with my man, Berny Martin.
We're having so much fun, but can I ask you a quick question from our audience before we move on? Yeah. So, Patty Escobar joined us. Hi,
hello,
Patty. And she says, do you prefer to design for men or women? Do you have a preference?
I don't. I love designing for women, although most of my popular pieces are men. But I do love designing for women because there's I like to describe it, kind of like a princess-like ideology I like to put on with women instead of some of the things that are there like so obvious, about what is the meaning of sexy, you know what I mean? And for me, designing for women is the ultimate high for me. Yeah.
Wow, I love
That's
that.
Awesome. We do have another, Beatrice Davis is putting you out there, and I guess we got to make sure that we do say this, right? She said, ask him about the newest adventures, teaming up with Naija Wives in Toronto and Hollywood.
Oh, wow. Well, we are producing TV shows.
Okay.
And it's back to kind of like what you are describing, there are certain elements when it comes to women of color that I feel like the responsibility because I'm somewhat in a position of controlling somewhat, sending what kind of messages that are out there versus what's being bombarded to us as people of color.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So for me, there's a common time in life where we need to, as you becoming more advanced in your profession and you're getting some kind of money,
Yeah.
you know, and you have some kind of connection.
Yeah.
So therefore, you should, you know, be in power or empowering yourself.
That's right.
To move certain things to the right place in order for the future of our legacy can see what exactly that you have done to promote, to advance certain women of color.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
agree.
Yes.
I love that.
So for me, that's important.
To
Yeah.
speak a different narrative.
Yeah, narrative. Instead of this, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, women of color fighting on TV screen, devouring each other, cussing each other out. For me, I didn't grow up in that kind of environment. I grew up with women of color being powerful, and I'm surrounded by that.
And loving.
And loving and encouraging and so on. I just got back from Africa. I was in 7 countries. They were all women, and they're all leaders. You would not dare talk to them differently.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
And,
I agree.
And to me, why those things are not being promoted?
Why do you think those things are not being promoted?
It doesn't have anything to do with race or anything like that. It's just that follow the money.
Oh, gotcha.
You know,
Yeah.
if someone is making money, then therefore the culture tend to gravitate it towards it.
Yeah.
But as us being, like I said, we're starting to be in position of power.
Yep.
If you're in alignment with the decisions making, so therefore you should come in and trying to put things into place where it belongs. You know,
I like that.
Getting rid of the stereotype.
Yeah, getting rid of a stereotype.
But I kind of look at that as you have intelligence, creativity, money, then power.
Yeah.
Because it's all a package deal.
It's a package deal.
I mean, and the package deal comes from where I've worked so hard to getting to a point of people not really understanding my journey until I get there. They see the beginning of me starting, but then when they see kind of that success, but they don't see the middle of it.
Yeah.
And the middle of it actually takes me through ups and downs, that roller coaster. And finally, when I get there, I have to maintain and continue to gradually get higher.
Yeah.
As a leader of men and women of color, right? Of color. I think it comes to that image that we have to have that we never really had before in America. But also the difference between someone that's white versus someone of color. And there's always that competition.
Definitely. And as I mentioned, it's not so much about a race war issue about what needs to be taking place. You have to look at yourself in the mirror every day when you wake up and say, you know what am I turning the TV on to?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you have the responsibility.
Yes.
If you see something on a TV screen that doesn't represent you, and you see black women fighting on TV screen, you know, you have that responsibility. You know what? I'm going to turn it off. I'm not watching it, and I'm not going to entertain this. That's your responsibility. As I share to my sisters, I share that with my cousins, I share that with women that I work with. You know, I have zero tolerance for it because it's degrading us, and you're wondering what's it going to do to our legacy.
That's right.
So if you want to have a fruitful legacy, you want to see women of color in a better position and be respectful position.
Yes, sir.
So therefore, you support something that's where Nigeria Wives comes in.
Yes. My
Love
man.
that. That's great. That's wonderful.
Respect.
Well, it's because, you know, look at what's out there right now. It gets a lot of airplay, the fighting, the drama, because people
that's
are
what
just
pay the bills.
It makes money.
Yeah, it does pay the bills. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, Jerry Springer got paid.
Yeah. You know,
he didn't discriminate. He had all kinds of people on that
exactly.
show.
But he made money.
But you cannot hit the hustle.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
At the end of the day, I'm Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm very street Brooklyn. I'll tell you that.
I don't get in nobody's money way.
Yeah, I don't get any money. Hey, this is you packaging your dope. Let's get it.
Right.
But you could be at the same time, when you're hustling with that person, you say, yo, homie, listen, let's do something different.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is not going in.
Right.
Expand.
You know what I'm saying? Let's
Yes, sir.
expand on it. You
Yep.
did this? All right, now let me show you something less.
Yes.
Right.
If you are making $1 million today, I tell you what, we can make $100 million doing this. You know what I'm saying?
I'm so sold right now. Like, what we doing?
What are you doing? Exactly. But that's the Brooklyn way.
Right,
you understand what I'm saying?
right,
I'm not
right.
criticizing you.
Yep.
I'm just showing you a way you can make more money.
It's just an option.
It's just an option.
It's just an option.
You know
it's
what I'm
up
saying?
for you take it or you
Yeah,
leave
it's
it.
over you take it or leave it.
Some people are not like that, though. Speaking of Brooklyn, you know, I got a lot of friends from New York, and I always see them actually trying to do different things.
Yeah.
And I love it because it's just, it's kind of like you feel like the mecca of creativity.
Oh yeah, we the money money move. We make money
Yeah.
move. That's the
Yep.
way it is.
Money moves. That's
All it is. 24/7.
Yes,
You
sir.
better own it.
Yep.
Because somebody else gonna take it.
Yep, exactly. It's that comp.
That's just the way it is. It's not like we cocky. It's not anything about being
it's a
cocky or
mindset.
confident. It's a mindset because you know for a fact rent gonna increase in 2 years.
So true.
There's no lie about it. This is not the Midwest. You can argue yourself in a courtroom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You go in Brooklyn, guess what? Rent was 700. Guess what, homie? It's gonna be 1,000 in 3 months.
Right.
So you better increase your productivity or come up with some new ideas. This is the way it is. You know?
Epitome
I
of
love
hustle.
it, man.
Yeah.
That's like the
love it.
epitome of the
Yeah.
epicenter
Yeah,
of,
people
of
think
hustle.
like we New Yorkers, we just like rude and no. I'm defending the money move. That's it.
I love that.
So, you know, we talk about, you know, this different fashion. We're gonna bring up some of your photos
Yeah.
of your work, but fashion shows.
Yeah.
Now, for the audience sake, do you run fashion shows or do you just participate as far as with your design or do both?
I've done it all.
Okay.
And part of it has to be with what I shared with you earlier.
Yep.
Oh my
We
goodness.
literally started from the bottom.
Is
Yeah.
that yours?
Yes.
What she's wearing?
Yes.
Oh my
And
gosh.
that dress was the fabric is made in New Harmony, Indiana.
I
She is
love
a
that.
weaver.
Nice.
She's a fabric weaver.
Wow.
Very special fabric made there. There you go. And this lady, she's a Black Arabian. I might say
Wow.
I'm a Black Arabs. The reason I bring that term on because people think there's no such thing as people of color of Arabs descent. There is such thing.
Yeah, it is, I'm
You
sure.
know?
Yeah.
And she did a wonderful job. You know.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that dress.
That's beautiful. That is awesome.
But when it comes to creativity in general, when it comes to fashion, fashion is a journey. It's representing who you are culturally first.
Yes.
And the thing that you have engaging yourself in as a journey through your life.
Yeah.
For me, fashion represents all of that. My Caribbean background, my Latino background, my Haitian background, my Brooklyn background,
Yeah.
and of course my Midwestern conservativeness of nature of what I've done. All that
He'll have
embedded
the
into
suit
one.
on with the Adidas.
Exactly. That's it. That's true.
But being into fashion shows, and I've actually been in one.
Yeah.
You know, I've been in one before. I don't want to, I don't want to
Yeah.
dust my shoulders off.
Yeah.
But I've been in a fashion show before. You know, it ain't easy. It ain't easy getting the flow on.
Yeah.
You know?
Most people think that we've been doing it for 15 years.
Okay.
I am both a fashion designer and show production, and I'm a fashion producer. So in other words, I go and hunt for the money to get things done. Period.
Come on,
You
man.
know, whether we're doing it or not, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I didn't have a choice because of the environment I was in back to Indianapolis. I literally did not have anything at all. We have to train the models. We did the lighting. We partnered with photographers to develop their skills, and everything was like from the ground down, completely at zero. So with that being said, I became a fashion producer.
Yes.
But if I really have a choice, no, I don't want to be a fashion producer.
Yeah.
Because it is hell.
I'm sure.
You know, it's like wedding, and you have 50 bridesmaids driving you nuts backstage. And guess what? The minute you hit the stage, all those 50 brides needs to be confined.
Oh my gosh.
In that second. Not minute. You don't have minutes. It's literally 9 seconds.
Wow.
As soon as they step in front of that runway, everything you see the runway coming in, you don't want to know what's happening back there.
Oh, I'm sure.
We asked
I know, it's a
the models
madhouse.
that we've had on the show. We've asked them, is it like the movies where everybody's just running around and put this on and people are half dressed?
Let's put it this way. Usually, people that are in a world of professionalism, because I was one of them, they usually say, no, thank you, no more, I'm done.
Wow.
Yeah, because it is that intense. Because you're dealing with a lot of adrenaline and power, and money, and politics, and influence, all at once backstage with you.
So you have everybody for the show back there, and then you have the people who might have had some funding to the show back there as well, making sure everything
is running the way.
So many hands.
Let me give you an example. I'm not going to tell you the name of the show. It was a TV show, live, and I remember a sponsor said to the producer, "I don't like that model. Get him out right now," on the radio. And guess what? The model was about to step onto the runway.
Ooh.
Did they stop that model?
You better did.
Oh, wow.
They pulled him out, and then model did not realize what was happening at the time. He thought that maybe he's gonna run last, but
he didn't run at all.
He didn't run at all. And at that point, look at myself, I was like, this is the point where I'm sitting and relax, and I need a double shot. or something.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So to answer your question, a lot of time the people that are within the audience have no clue or desires. You should not have any desires to know what's happening back there.
Yeah.
Because you have competition between sponsors as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, that's got to be terrible.
And then not only that, I'm not done with you yet. And then let's say a sponsor brought his $1 billion friend backstage, who's showing off a lot of money.
Oh my goodness.
With all the blings and everything. Don't want anybody to be near that person. You have to be careful with that. You have to praise the Lord for them.
Wow.
So there's a lot of characters and stuff like that going on all at once. So
that's draining.
It is draining.
So let me ask you a question about that, because to be able to have a sponsor for a fashion show, that has to be approved by someone.
Yeah.
So
by the producer.
Yeah. You being a producer.
Yeah.
If you was in that situation of knowing that there were certain sponsors, technically, me personally, I would be picky.
Yeah.
I'll be picky in regards to who, from a personality standpoint,
of course.
number one.
Of
I will
course.
have to see exactly. I don't care how much money you
I'm going to have to co-sign that because I've seen him.
No,
turn
absolutely.
Absolutely.
So honestly, I have kicked out sponsors out of my shows. Not that I had the luxury, but some of them had the audacity of disrespecting my crew, which I didn't have any tolerance for, especially when half of my crew are women of color. So therefore, for me, that's a no stepping ground for me.
That's correct.
That's rule number one.
Yeah.
And then at that point, I myself always have what you call personal time with my sponsors ahead of a time.
Yes.
To identify what kind of personality they are.
Yeah.
In order to know exactly how I'm going to entertain them.
That's right.
Wow.
Because some sponsors, I'm going to get them drunk somewhere else. So can be relaxed.
They can pass out for the show. Be up the next day.
so you can get to
I
know
love
him.
that. See, that's Brooklyn.
Yeah,
That's Brooklyn
Like I said,
right there.
I'm a Brooklyn guy. I'm not entertaining you. You're not gonna entertain
Let's
me.
go the night before. I'm
Yeah.
gonna take you out. We're gonna
Yeah.
have some drinks.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
call me tomorrow at 6 o'clock when it's over.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
when you sponsor a show, do you normally have that much creative control on what
Oh
goes
yeah,
on?
100%. I don't
Okay. I
play.
don't know if
Yeah, I don't.
One ties into the
No,
other.
you're right. There's limitation when it comes to sponsors having creativity rights.
Mm-hmm.
However, you don't want to go into giving them too much right.
Right.
Because what happened next, what happened to the other sponsors?
Right.
You know, because at the end of the day, let's say you have 5 sponsors, you know, and then one to have 1 minute to talk. And the next thing you know, he's like, oh, you give me creative control. I want to talk for 5 minutes. Well, guess
Wow.
what? I did not agree to that. We are not talking for 5 minutes. You need to get out right now.
Wrap it
because
up,
We already gave you a piece of steak that's 10 ounces. Now you want 30 ounces?
Exactly. And the reality is, if you don't sit down with your sponsors prior to the show, knowing all those little details,
You're going to run into
you're
problems.
gonna run a
Yeah.
lot of dramas.
Man.
because-
Yeah, how about if
yeah.
that guy they pulled off the runway was another sponsor's nephew?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That can get messy
Yeah.
when you allow that much control
Oh, yeah.
from people who are not like on the day to day of what's going on with the
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah. I like to describe. I think I've seen it all in fashion shows, but I know there's more to come. So I'm holding my breath.
Everybody, you already know Bernie Martin. Man, we're almost,
And I must say this, and
yes,
not that
sir.
I'm taking you long.
No, you're
it
good.
doesn't have to be an issue about like how much money you put in production. Chaos can happen at any given situation.
Oh, yes. yes.
And what I'm describing here, people might be thinking, oh, it must be some ghetto stuff. No, it wasn't. We are talking about TV, some of the high-profile TV station
yeah.
I believe it.
I
stuff
can believe that.
being going on, but you will never know.
Yeah.
Because that's what, like I said, this rely within us as producers to know those things.
Right. I mean, money doesn't buy you class.
Exactly.
You know,
Nah.
so I mean, I totally believe
Not
you
at
when you say that.
Man, so I have something for you, but I can give a big shout out to my man, activist Sawyer, my man Justin Sawyer, man. Thank you so much
Justin.
for checking in with us as well, too. Saludo, man. Saludo, Carlito. Saludo, papa. So I have a shirt. It's got an ankle, but
You're gonna give that
Yes,
to a
I-
fashion person?
I know. I should have folded it right. Right?
He's a
I should have.
designer.
I know he's a designer, but I
Forgive
got.
that we didn't get to steam this.
No,
for
no,
you.
you're fine. You're fine. Yeah. That was my
But as long
hustle
as they
back
see the
then. I started with a t-shirt company as well. I used
the
to, pop the trunk, get your
the trunk.
t-shirt.
Oh,
Yeah.
see?
I told you I'm from Brooklyn. This is the Brooklyn way.
So we, all of the gyms that we have that come on our show, we call them gyms around the world, and of course, you are a gym of the world. Coming on this show means a lot to us. And once again, big shout out to Beatrice for actually making this connection, because it's not the last time that we're gonna see you.
Definitely.
Right?
Thank
If you need me on the runway, let me know.
Yeah.
But
There you go.
but one of the things
In
about
Paris.
in Paris.
Ooh. There you go.
Ooh, Katu.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
you go.
I like that. So this shirt right here, we want to welcome you to the family, but we want to congratulate you from all of your milestones, all of your accolades, everything that you put together to make a narrative for your journey of life.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Love
baby.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations
There you
on
go.
That's
all
all
your
you right there. That's
accomplishments.
all you right there, Baba. We want to see that on the runway.
See, that even matches what you
Yeah.
got going on.
Yeah. Going on vacation, I'll be rocking this 24/7.
Send us
man.
a picture.
Yes.
Yes,
I
shoot us a
surely
picture,
will.
yes.
I
And
surely
let us
will.
know where you at so we can come down,
Right.
so we can
Yes.
hang out with you.
We will travel to interview.
Yes.
So we're gonna put up your social media, but man, I'm so happy that you came on to the
Yeah.
show, man. Thank you
No,
so
thank
much
you
for
for
coming.
having me.
Thank you
And,
so much.
man. This
So much
means
fun.
a lot to me, and also, of course, to Valerie and the show and my crew. Big shout out to my crew. They're
Hey!
back in as well too.
Yes.
They're working it out as well too. So we got to put up your website.
Yeah.
Because once they go to your website, like, oh, really? You did that? So the first one is BernieMartin.com. So
Yes.
that is your website. There is a section on that says celebrities.
Yeah.
Click on that link. And then we got another one, which is Katuware. right? Tattoowear.com, right?
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
is your brand. That is, of course, Grandma, right?
Yeah.
Of course, right? Big shout out to Grandma as well, too. We love you from the Rico No Suave Show. So make sure you go and check him out there on the website. But I want to thank you so much for being on the show.
And I'm looking to dress Mark Anthony. I'm going to put it in the universe here.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's one of my idols. I would love to just put it out, you know.
Put him in a suit or something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, can we bring up, there was one more picture, the picture that I was telling you about that you might need to hook me up with. So there is a photo where he's in the middle and the models are on the side of him. That, I think it was the first one, that one right there. The one over to the right.
Yeah.
I want that.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
want
know
that
who
dress
dressed that?
too, so-
What's his name?
That's a picture we like. 'Cause
Yeah.
I want that dress.
Yeah, I
And he
want
wants
that.
suit.
I want that suit. You can. The belt is cool. I mean, nothing against the fashion, right? But,
De La Ghetto
De La
wore
Ghetto.
that. Yeah, he wore that.
Okay, all right,
for his,
De La Ghetto.
for his movie premiere.
Yeah, I need that. I need that. I just want to let you know that. I have to put that on the record for everybody in the world to know, right? So that is an awesome, and all of the outfits that you have there is beautiful. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Man, thank you so much for being on the show, man. It was great to have you
Thank you.
here on the show. Put your hands together for none other than my man, Berny Martin, everybody. All right, we're going to get out of here, but we got to put up our social media. We got to put up our social media so you guys know where we're at. www.riconosuaveshow.com. You'll always find out the archives. You'll find out all of the photos. And also, if you want to listen to some DJs playing some mixes, you can do that as well, too. The next one is at Rico No Suave Show on Instagram, right? Instagram. Make sure you go to Instagram and follow us there. Here's the next one. Boom!
Hey,
yeah, Rico No
Facebook.
Suave Show, Facebook, baby. So make sure you go ahead and like.
Love.
All day, every day. That's what she said. So make sure you go there and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rico No Suave Show. Subscribe now to all of my YouTubers out there. If you have a Gmail account, go ahead and subscribe to that. Last but not least, we have mixcloud.com/Rico No Suave Show. Yes, Rico No Suave Show. That's where you'll find us. And also, if you're a podcaster, you'll be able to listen to the audio there as well. But we're going to end off the show, everybody. I want to thank you guys so much for actually being on the show as far as with us today on the Rico No Suave Show. Coming up this Tuesday, everybody. Coming up this Tuesday, we have none other than the Billionaire. At first I said there's an R in there. The Billionaire. Her name is Raquel Williams-Jones. She'll be here on the Rico No Suave Show Tuesday at 6:30 Central Standard Time. So make sure you guys go ahead and tune in. All right, everybody.
We'll see you then.
That's right. And we'll see you as we end off the show just like